Uh, the audacity, that's what they whisper, isn't it? The sheer audacity to break free, to gather your dignity, and to walk away from the chaos they assumed you'd endure forever. Oh, how it shakes them to their core. You see, they had written a script where you'd always play your part, a predictable character in their self-serving narrative, a pawn that would never dare step off the board. But you, oh, you shattered their illusion. Your departure wasn't just a choice, it was a revolution. They had grown drunk on their power, feeding on the illusion of control they believed they had over you. And when you finally walked away, it wasn't just your absence that struck them, it was the raw truth that they never truly held you at all. Your leaving was the mirror they feared the most, reflecting their hollow selves right back at them. Now, they tell themselves stories to explain it away. You were too sensitive, too dramatic, too independent. Any excuse to avoid the truth. Their actions, their games, their endless disrespect finally had consequences. You dared to say enough. And that word, it cuts deeper than any blade. Oh, they underestimated you, didn't they? Thought they had you figured out. But people who take others for granted never truly see them. They only see what they want. And when you left, they were blindsided. Now they're spinning in circles, torn between disbelief and rage. How dare they leave me? They scream internally, their ego crumbling with every echo of their own voice. They had grown so accustomed to you, forgiving, overlooking, making excuses. They thought you'd never stop. They thought wrong. Your departure wasn't just an escape. It was a statement, a roaring declaration that said, I am worth more than this. And oh, how that infuriates them. They're not just mad at you, they're mad at themselves for not seeing your value until you were already gone. But let's be honest, they don't hate you. No, hate would mean indifference isn't an option. And if they never cared, why are they still watching? Why are they still searching for pieces of you in places you've left behind? They envy you. They envy your strength, your courage, the self-worth you discovered when you walked away. Their anger is just a mask for their humiliation, the gut-wrenching realization that they lost someone they will never, ever replace. They'll try to rewrite the story, paint you as the villain. You were selfish, they'll say. You gave up too easily. But deep down, they know the truth. They had a million chances to get it right, and they wasted every single one. You weren't leaving them. You were saving yourself. And while they sit there, stewing in their regret, searching for cheap replacements, you're flourishing. You've stepped into a world where your worth is recognized, where you no longer have to shrink yourself to make someone else feel big. And that burns, because in the story they wrote, you were supposed to be broken. You were supposed to crawl back. Instead, you're thriving, untouchable, free. Oh, how they sit there, replaying every moment, every glance, every word you ever gave them. Could they have seen this coming? They asked themselves. But the truth, they weren't blind. They just never thought someone like you would leave. It wasn't just arrogance, it was entitlement. They truly believed you were theirs to keep, no matter how they treated you. And their disbelief, it isn't just about your absence, it's about the audacity you had to put yourself first. You see, they assumed your love, your kindness, your patience were chains that bound you to them. But little did they know, those were the very wings you used to fly away. And fly, you did, soaring beyond their grasp, leaving behind the wreckage of their manipulation, their lies, their endless games. They thought you'd stick around to fix it, to pick up the broken pieces of their ego, but you didn't. You left them to their mess. And oh, how that shattered them. Now, they're rewriting history, trying to figure out where they went wrong. But the truth, they didn't miss a sign. You were right there, giving them chance after chance. They just didn't care enough to see it. Or maybe they just thought they'd always have more time, more chances. They were wrong. Now, they sit in silence, scrolling through memories, digging through the remnants of what was, searching for a clue, an explanation. But the only explanation is this: you outgrew the smallness of their love, the toxicity of their world. You outgrew them. Their pride is wounded, sure, but their ego, it's obliterated. Because your leaving wasn't just an act of defiance, it was a declaration of your worth. It said, I am no longer a participant in your circus. And that stings, because their entire identity was built on the belief that you'd stay. And now, the silence you left behind is deafening. See, they thrived on your reactions, your emotional investment. And when you took that away, when you chose peace over conflict, that's when their world truly started to crumble. They're mad at themselves, but they'll never admit it. It's easier to blame you, to say you gave up. But deep down, they know you didn't give up. You walked away because they didn't deserve you. And that realization, that's the real punishment. Oh, they'll try to replace you, search high and low for someone to fill the void, but they'll fail because what they had with you, it wasn't something they created. It was something you brought to the table. And now that you're gone, they'll never find it again. Their regret, it isn't just about losing you. It's about losing the version of themselves they were when they were with you, because you made them better, even when they didn't deserve it. And now they're left with nothing but the weight of their own mistakes. They'll smile for the world, pretend they're fine, but behind closed doors, they're drowning. Every night, the silence grows louder. Every day, the absence of you becomes more unbearable. Your absence is the loudest thing in their life right now. They wish they could reach out, apologize, beg, but their ego, it won't let them. They'd rather live with regret than admit they were wrong. And that is their downfall. Because people like them, they thrive on control. They thought they controlled you, your emotions, your reactions. But when you walked away, you took that control with you. And now they're floundering, desperate for the power they lost. Every time they think of you, it's a dagger to their pride. And you're out there living your best life, free, thriving. And that is the ultimate revenge. Let them stew in their regret. Let them drown in their disbelief. They thought they had you figured out, but you proved them wrong. You showed them that your worth was never tied to their validation. So walk tall, hold your head high. You're not just the one who got away. You're the one they'll never forget. And that's a power they'll never take from you. They thought they broke you, but all they did was set you free. And now, as they sit there consumed by regret, you're out there living the life you always deserved. Their disbelief is your victory. Their regret is your freedom. And their loss, it's your gain. So walk tall. You've earned it.